Once upon a time, in a sparkling pink castle, there lived a kind and beautiful princess named Ella. Princess Ella loved sunshine, flowers, and laughter. Everyone in the kingdom adored her because she was gentle and sweet. To all one bright morning, the royal palace was filled with excitement. It was Princess Ella's birthday. The maids decorated the grand hall with balloons, ribbons, and golden lights. The royal baker made a giant strawberry cake with pink icing and sugar roses on top. Princess Ella's best friends, Luna the fairy and Milo the talking cat, were helping with the party. "Oh, Ella, your party will be the most magical one ever. I'll make sure no mice steal the cupcakes." Princess Ella giggled and hugged them both. She wore a shining silver gown with tiny stars that twinkled when she moved. Soon, guests began to arrive. Princes, princesses, fairies, and forest animals. Everyone brought beautiful gifts wrapped in shiny paper. Then, the fairy queen appeared in a flash of golden light. "Happy birthday, dear Ella. I have a special gift for you, a wish that comes true." Everyone gasped with joy. Ella closed her eyes and made her wish. "I wish for everyone in the kingdom to be happy forever." The fairy queen smiled and waved her wand. Sparkles filled the air as happiness spread throughout the land. The party went on with music, dancing, and laughter. Everyone sang, "Happy birthday, Princess Ella." At sunset, fireworks lit up the sky in pink, blue, and gold. Princess Ella looked up and whispered, "Today is the best day ever." And from that day on, the kingdom was known as the Land of Joy, where kindness and laughter never ended. And that was the story of Princess Ella's birthday party, where a wish of love made everyone happy forever. The end.
Once upon a time, in a quiet little village near a silver lake, lived a kind girl named Lila. She loved stars, moonlight, and all the things that shined in the dark. Every night, Lila lit a small lantern and placed it by her window. She said, "May this light guide someone who is lost." One cool evening, while Lila was reading near her lantern, she heard a tiny voice. "Excuse me, is that your light?" Lila looked around. "Who's there?" From behind the lantern came a small, glowing mouse. Its fur sparkled like starlight, and its tiny eyes twinkled. "I'm Milo, the lantern mouse." It squeaked softly. "Your light saved me." "I lost my way in the dark woods." Lila smiled warmly. "You're welcome, Milo. Would you like some milk?" From that day, Lila and Milo became best friends. Milo stayed in a little teacup house near Lila's window. Every night, he helped her light the lanterns around the village. But one night, a big storm came. The wind blew so hard that all the lanterns went out, even Lila's. The whole village was dark. "Oh no!" Lila cried. "People can't find their way home." Milo climbed to the window and said, "Don't worry, Lila. I'll help." He ran into the rain, his glowing fur shining like a tiny moon. He carried a spark from Lila's lantern and lit one lantern after another. Soon, the whole village began to glow again. When the storm passed, everyone came out of their homes. They saw Lila holding her lantern and the brave little mouse beside her. "You saved us, Milo!" the villagers cheered. Lila smiled proudly. A small light can make a big difference. From that night on, every lantern in the village had a small mouse drawing on it, to remind everyone of the brave lantern mouse and his kind friend Lila. And every evening, when the stars began to shine, Lila whispered, "Thank you, little light." The end.
Once upon a time, there was a happy land called the Cotton Candy Kingdom. The land was full of sweets. The roads were made of biscuits, the gardens were full of jelly beans, and the trees were covered with soft pink cotton candy. The rivers sparkled with lemonade, and the mountains were made of chocolate. The whole kingdom smelled sweet and looked bright. In the middle of this land stood a big candy castle. Inside the castle lived Princess Anaya. She was a kind princess who loved her people. Every day she walked in the kingdom, talked to the children, and shared candy with everyone. She also helped the bakers, played with the little ones, and cared for the candy gardens. The people loved her very much. One day, something sad happened. The cotton candy trees started to melt. The soft pink candy became sticky, and the nice smell went away. The rivers slowed down, and the flowers lost their colours. The people grew worried. Without the cotton candy trees, the kingdom would not be sweet or magical anymore. Princess Anaya wanted to save her land. She put on her sugar crystal crown, packed some candy drops for energy, and walked far into the peppermint forest. After a long walk, she found a small cave. In the cave lived an old woman named Griselda. She had been forgotten by the kingdom and felt very lonely. Because of her sadness, she had made the cotton candy trees melt. Princess Anaya was gentle and kind. She did not get angry. She held Griselda's hand and invited her back to the castle so she would not feel alone anymore. When Griselda felt loved again, the spell was broken. The cotton candy trees grew back, soft and fluffy, and the sweet smell returned. The rivers sparkled once more, and the flowers bloomed in rainbow colours. The kingdom became happy again. The people laughed, the children played, and music filled the air. A big festival was held with cakes, sweets, and games to celebrate. Princess Anaya and Griselda became good friends and promised to care for the land together. From that day, everyone in the Cotton Candy Kingdom learned that kindness and love could make magic stronger than anything else. And so they all lived happily ever after.
Once upon a time, in a bright green meadow surrounded by tall mountains, lived a little unicorn named Starry. She was the youngest in her herd and had a small, shining horn on her head. Unlike the older unicorns, Starry could not run very fast or make her magic glow brightly. Sometimes she felt too small and wished she could do big things like the others. Every morning, Starry loved to watch butterflies dance above the flowers. She enjoyed listening to the songs of the birds and playing with the rabbits. Even though she was happy with her friends, she dreamed of proving that she was special too. One sunny day, the herd gathered near the river to drink cool water. Suddenly, a strong wind blew across the meadow. Dark clouds rolled in, and heavy rain poured down. The river started to rise and rush faster. All the animals in the meadow became frightened. The rabbits ran for shelter, the birds flew high, and even the bigger unicorns looked worried. On the other side of the river, Starry saw a tiny fawn standing all alone. The poor fawn was stuck and could not cross the rushing water. The bigger unicorns hesitated, afraid the river was too wild to cross safely. Starry's heart began to race. She knew the little fawn needed help, and even though she was small, she wanted to be brave. Starry took a deep breath and stepped toward the water. She remembered what her mother had once told her. True magic shines when you follow your heart. With courage, she lowered her head, and her small horn began to glow with a gentle light. To her surprise, the glow spread across the water, forming a sparkling bridge made of light. Carefully, Starry trotted across the glowing path. She reached the fawn, who looked at her with wide, trusting eyes. "Don't be afraid," Starry whispered softly. With gentle steps, she guided the fawn onto the bridge and led it safely to the other side. When they reached the meadow, all the animals cheered, and the herd of unicorns surrounded Starry with amazement. They had never seen such a bright and beautiful magic bridge before. Starry's small horn sparkled even brighter, shining like the stars in the night sky. From that day on, Starry no longer felt too small. She realized that courage and kindness made her stronger than she ever knew. The herd respected her bravery, and the animals loved her gentle heart. Starry continued to play with her friends and explore the meadow, but now she knew she could do big things in her own way. And whenever the river rushed or the meadow grew dark with storms, the little unicorn's shining bridge of light appeared once again, reminding everyone that even the smallest among them could carry the brightest magic. And so, Starry the little unicorn lived happily in her meadow, loved and admired, with a glowing heart that never stopped shining.